Welcome.
It was all done.
Welcome, everyone.
That's great. Good for you guys.
Hi, everybody. I think we've got the festive spirit. We're really close, home stretch right now. Time is 7:30, and I'd like to call the District 204 regular action meeting to order. Can you please call the roll?
Member Albert?
Here.
Member Dillon?
Here.
Member Gretsch?
Here.
Member Kelly?
Here.
Member Swinehart?
Here.
Member Thomas?
Here.
Member Daniels is absent.
Thank you, Marilyn. I'd like to now ask everyone to participate in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. And welcome. Next up, is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented tonight?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And Marilyn, will you call the roll?
Member Albert?
Yes.
Member Gretsch?
Yes.
Member Kelly?
Yes.
Member Swinehart?
Yes.
Member Thomas?
Yes.
Member Dillon?
Yes. Thank you, Marilyn. Okay, first up, we have the public hearing on Lyons Township High School District 204 2022 property tax levy. At this time, we'll open the public hearing on Lyons Township School District 204 2022 property tax levy. The Director of Business Services, Brian Stachek, will share some information, and then we'll take any comments for the public hearing.
Thank you, President Dillon. So just briefly, this is a new requirement of the hearing during both the during both the budget hearing and the levy hearing. And so in order to be in compliance with Public Act 102-0895, we are to disclose the current cash balance, fund balances of the district at the time of the budget, which we did back then, and we're going to do tonight as well. So our cash balances as of November 30th, 2022, those are the most recent ones we have because obviously we're still in the month of December. The educational fund, $13,016,179.54. The operations and maintenance fund, $9,250,338.82. The bond and interest fund, $1,525,266.39. The transportation fund, $3,398,316.29. The IMRF Social Security fund, $96,031.76. And our site and construction capital projects fund, $145,242.59. And finally, the working cash fund, $4,010,718.85 for a total of $31,442,094.24. And so that disclosure meets the requirement for that public act. And so at this point, President Dillon, I turn it back over to you for the public hearing.
And now we'll just ask if there are any comments for public hearing. Okay, seeing as there's no public comments, we will now close the public hearing on the Lyons Township High School District 204 2022 property tax levy. Okay, thank you. Our next agenda item is public participation. Marilyn, do we have any agenda-related comments?
We do.
Okay, great. Then I would just like to remind the group, thank you for joining us tonight at the meeting. There are two opportunities for audience members to address the Board of Education. Agenda-related comments are welcome at the beginning, and non-agenda-related comments before we adjourn. Appreciate community participation, but please understand that the board does not engage in dialogue or discussion. If there is a specific question or comment that requires follow-up, the appropriate administrator will respond at a later time. And lastly, pursuant to board policies 230 and 830, individuals addressing the board are expected to conduct themselves with respect and civility. And in the interest of time, please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you for cooperating with us to make this evening's meeting efficient and productive. And Marilyn, if you can call our first speaker.
Ann Bennett.
Hello. I am addressing Roman numeral 9, new business A4, regarding the sale of the Lyons Township Willow Springs property. I think the Board of Education should consider executing a leasehold agreement with the entity that wants to purchase the Willow Springs property to ensure a revenue stream for District 204 without relinquishing ownership. There is much precedent for governmental bodies setting up leasehold agreements. One example is all the retail space and gates at the Chicago airports are leased. Exhibit A in your board packet addressed the risks that the LTHS property could become part of a tax easement financing district and the issue of a straw purchaser. There is, however, a state of Illinois enterprise zone directly across the Willow Springs Road from the LTHS property, which could be easily expanded to include the LTHS property, a contiguous property, although in another village. That risk could be mitigated by subdividing the LTHS property, creating a parcel along Willow Springs Road to be excluded from the sale. Exhibit A appeared to presume a profit concern would purchase the property and not a nonprofit. Illinois has more nonprofits than any other state. The entire hospital industry is dominated by nonprofits, and religious organizations own much property, with their land being off the real estate tax rolls. Establishing a leasehold arrangement would mitigate the nonprofit purchaser risk, as well as the risk of a profit entity erecting buildings of limited value. I do question why the LTHS property is being sold in its entirety, since a portion could be preserved for District 204 future use, still allowing 2 remaining access roads available to the developer. At your November 5th meeting, I identified inaccuracies, omissions, and questionable assumptions used to determine projected enrollment in the August 2022 CASADA report. Thus, I do not recommend placing reliance on the report as presently drafted. You are state of Illinois officers who are elected locally, and in the pecking order of government, you are a local body of government that is higher than county, townships, village, and city governments. You are in an interesting position owning 70 acres of virgin land that has 3 access roads, 79th Street, German Church Road, Willow Springs Road, and near a tollway 294 access. I hope that your due diligence included hiring a valuation expert to value the property for residential and commercial use, as well as having a geotechnical investigation. When the Northwest Ordinance established township government prior to Illinois statehood, each township had a designated area to fund public schools. That property was located at the northeast corner of East Avenue and Joliet Road, where ODM and the Vulcan Limestone Quarry exist. All school districts in the Township of Lyons would have owned that property if it had not been sold. If you sell the property, you're relinquishing control. Thank you.
Marilyn, do we have any other speakers?
No.
Thank you. That concludes our agenda-related public comments. Next, we would hear from LTA President Andrew Johannes. Good to see you.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I would again like to articulate the teachers' appreciation for the continued collaboration between the administration and teachers. This is having a positive impact and will LT to address concerns in order to best meet the needs of our students. The LTA continues to support the strategic plan and values the administration's commitment to the process. The teachers support the collaboration around Strategic Goal 3, finding ways to achieve a more diverse faculty while at the same time maintaining high standards of our teachers. We appreciate the extra time for PLC meetings. This has made a positive impact on students' learning, which supports Goal 1. Teachers have had time to plan effective units and develop authentic assessments. In addition, I would like to acknowledge the hard work our instructional coaches have put into the curriculum review process. Kirsten Bacon, Virginia Condon, Amy Johnson, and Dina Mancini have done a tremendous amount of work this year and should be applauded. In regards to Goal 4, teachers also appreciate the opportunity to be part of the school articulation process. This is a great opportunity to meet the needs of our students as they transition from the associate schools to LT. Maintaining a positive relationship with the larger LT school community is an essential part of our mission. I would like to celebrate a few of the accomplishments of our teachers over the last month. Congratulations to Director Kristen Manti and the theater students on their production of She Kills Monsters. The students put on a great performance and should be very proud. Congratulations to our business teachers, Michael Archibald, Julie Breyer-Smith, Natalie Carlson, Ryan Gerritsen, Greg Gerritsen, Jennifer Walker, and Krista Wilcox. They were very busy with Shark Tank, marketing pitches, incubator presentations, and the students all performed amazingly. Christina George and Greg Garrettson had mock trials in their constitutional law and business law classes. Jurors included staff members from LT, and they were very impressed with the students' preparation and performances. The students continued to demonstrate their many talents. The students showed off their culinary skills in the cupcake and cake wars. I understand it was a delicious competition. Congratulations to our culinary teachers, Brianna Basic, Martha Elliott, Patty Cryer, Ann Stickman, and Danielle Razalowski. I also understand congratulations are in order to Mr. Kevin Brown. On behalf of the Faculty Association, congrats on your award. We cannot think of a more deserving candidate.
Thank you.
And finally, I'd like to say thank you to from the teachers to the board that we are grateful for your continued support. And we truly appreciate all the work that you do for the school. I wish all of you a happy holidays and a restful break. Thank you.
Same to you and everyone. Appreciate all those shout outs too. Thank you to all of our teachers and of course to Kevin too. Great. Next up we have our student representative to the board, Mr. Matthew Walsh.
Thank you, President Dillon. Starting with athletics. Winter sports are underway. Boys and girls varsity basketball have both had tremendous success in their seasons so far. Boys varsity basketball has had a great season so far with huge wins against York, Glenbard West, and Maine South. Girls varsity basketball has also had great games against Hinsdale Central, York, and Glenbard West. The student section was most definitely packed during these games. LT Boys Bowling had a big win across the board on November 21st with a win against Hinsdale Central. On top of that, LT Bowling was champions at the Glenbrook North Invitational on December 10th. Congratulations to Boys Diving, who took home first place at the Barrington Relays on December 10th. LT Competitive Cheerleading had its first competitions of the season. The junior varsity cheer team placed 5th, qualifying them for the ICCA Championship in Springfield. And the varsity competitive cheer team took home 2nd place at the Marianne Catholic Invitational, also qualifying them for the ICCA Championship. LT Wrestling had a very successful week, with the seniors and freshmen placing 3rd at the Lincoln Way Central Tournament on December 17th, and JV placing 2nd at the Tinley Park Tournament. Our very own Special Olympics Gold Team, Blue Team, and White Team made LT very proud with their outstanding performances on December 1st. Keep up the amazing work, guys. Now moving on to extracurriculars. Clubs such as the ASL Club, BMCC, German Club, Board Games Club, and many, many more have been continuing to meet and getting ready to wrap up their first semester. Students are starting to get ready for winter break, but before that, all students are taking finals from December 21st through December 23rd. Last week was Spirit Week at LT, where students had different themes for the day, such as Pajama Day and Tacky Tourist Day. The LT actors and LT Theater Board have been hard at work putting on the production of the play She Kills Monsters. Shows took place on December 16th, 17th, and 18th. 10 LT students were selected as all-state musicians for jazz band, choir, and orchestra. The selected students will be going to Peoria in January to play with their respective ensembles. LT Choir had their annual Fanfares and Carols concert at the Reber Center on December 1st, with the Holiday Madrigals concert taking place on December 8th. Student Council broke its record by adopting 198 kids for the annual Secret Santa. Many clubs and students helped make this breakthrough possible. National Honor Society student executives have been hard at work organizing this year's holiday food drive, where students and teachers brought in non-perishable food items from November 28th to December 9th. The class that donated the most food got to pie our very own Dr. Tyrell in the face today, so thanks, Dr. Tyrell.
There's video evidence on social media as well.
Yes, for proof. Acapella Club had one of their first performances at the Western Springs Theater on December 17th. Jazz Band has their holiday concert tonight at 7:30 at the Reber Center, so right now. Students currently taking the guitar class here at LT are preparing for the recital tomorrow at the PAC. 16 LT students were named Young Community Changemakers. Congratulations, guys. Lastly, LT Speech is continuing to kill it, having 9 entries who got medals at Naperville Central on December 11th. All right, thank you, guys. Happy holidays.
Thanks, Matthew.
Thank you.
Get some rest.
I'd love to share with the group, Matthew just got some really good news. He got accepted into Berklee College of Music, so how about that? Congrats, Matthew.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's very exciting. That's a nice gift to go into the holiday season with.
Definitely. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations, Matthew. Great, thanks. All right, you have to follow that now.
I know. I always get the pleasure of following Matthew's great report. So.
I think you've got a few good things to share, so it's all good.
Absolutely. I have a lot of things to share this evening. I want to start, though, with the LTCAC consensus. We hosted our most recent LT Community Advisory Council meeting on November 9th, and the topic of discussion was facilities and facilities planning for the future. Specifically, our advisory council reviewed an overview of the survey results that were from the survey that was administered in late September, and then provided feedback regarding the priorities as it relates to future facilities projects. So our LTCAC Chair, Shelley Taylor, is here to share that feedback with the board. And then Shelley has a concert to go to, I believe.
Big night. Thank you for the time to speak with you tonight. We had another great showing of the LTCAC at this last meeting. We had a full house. It's really great to see all of the excitement and enthusiasm that this group brings to all the topics that we talk about. So, as Dr. Waterman said, we reviewed the facility survey results and then considered a few questions. Some general observations were that the results tended to be pretty consistent, and there seemed to be agreement about what priorities should be addressed. The priorities that emerged were improving South Campus cafeteria, modernizing classrooms for 21st century learning, and improving bathrooms and athletic facilities at both campuses. The group generally agreed with these priorities that were identified in the survey. They did note air conditioning often, not surprisingly, and recognize that there is an interest in continuing to complete the air conditioning projects at both campuses in the future, as the district has been looking for in the last several years. So another question we asked was, what themes did you see in the data? And what are the community wants for future facilities projects? The main things that emerged were a consensus and good alignment with the planned projects, which is great. The community clearly wants to see a fully modern, collaborative learning space for the future. And the group also discussed sustainability and energy efficient solutions and requested that those would all be considered with future facility plans. And then they were asked to highlight the #1 priority for short-term facilities projects. I'm not sure anyone really just gave us one priority, but they did their best. But there was some clear consensus. The district should prioritize projects that will benefit the most students was a clear message. Priorities that came through were the South Campus cafeteria, classroom upgrades including whiteboards or smart boards, generally getting tech ready, as well as considering ergonomic furniture, upgrading locker rooms and bathrooms, and then athletic facilities. And some parents spoke specifically about athletic facilities and the outdoor facilities, and the importance in being able to take pride in those facilities when we're hosting other schools and other families. So that was spoken of quite a bit. That's the general summary. Happy holidays to everybody, and enjoy a restful break. Thank you. I'm going to go enjoy.
Yes.
Go listen to some good music.
Shelley, thank you.
Thank
Thank you for all of your work as chair. Happy holidays, and thanks for being here tonight to share it and enjoy the concert.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And as the board knows, we're in the process of gathering all kinds of feedback, including from LTCAC, survey results, student focus groups, staff focus groups, putting all that together with the need assessment from a couple years ago, and the board will get all of that information here pretty soon to prepare for some larger discussions around facilities in the spring. So that's coming soon. I wanted to do a quick FOIA update. Since our November meeting, we've received and complied with 5 FOIA requests. We had an individual submit 2 requests regarding information related to the model manufacturer and inspection reports for the spectator bleachers at Vaughn Gym. We had a company request information related to any contracts currently in place for vending and coffee services. Individual requested information related to contracts between the District 204 Board of Education and Dr. John Casarda, consulting demographer. And local labs requested electronic records of the full name, date of birth, home address, first day of service, and whether the individual is appointed or elected for all current Board of Education members. Moving along to some celebrations, I want to share a bit of celebratory news from our leadership team. On Friday, December 9th, our very own Director of Student Services, Leslie Owens, successfully defended her dissertation titled An Exploration of Superintendent's Understanding and Application of Evidence-Based Funding Principles. We won't make her re-defend her defense tonight, but now is officially Dr. Leslie Owens. So Leslie, congratulations. You know how much work you put in. I want to congratulate you publicly for that amazing accomplishment.
Congratulations.
Great work.
Thank you. Glad it's over.
Another really good celebration, I want to share an outstanding gift that our district recently received from the estate of former LT staff member Marilyn Pavlik. Marilyn taught Spanish and served as an assistant division chair for fine arts here at LT and retired in 1992. Following Marilyn's passing in March of 2022, her estate is making contributions, and LT is a beneficiary of her generosity in the form of a $250,000 donation to LT students. So based on her wishes, the funds will be used to develop a scholarship in her name and will be awarded to eligible students who have completed 4 years of a high school world language program, is a member of a high school language honor society, and who intends to major in world language education at a 4-year university in the state of Illinois. So we, of course, want to posthumously thank Marilyn Pavlik for her generosity and for the future positive impact that she will have on so many students through this scholarship here at LT. Just another amazing example of our alums doing amazing work and our retired staff giving back all the time. So
That's awesome.
great celebration.
Thank you.
Yeah, no,
you have-
I just want to say I had her. She was an outstanding teacher.
Oh, yay.
And very encouraging and supportive of her students. Just very positive too, and really appreciated. And she was an outstanding person.
That's awesome. That's
cool.
great to hear.
Continues to give.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Very cool. And then finally, it's my honor to present our second quarter Vita Plena Award to a deserving staff member. So the Vita Plena Award has been presented by the superintendent to a staff member since the mid-90s. Last year, when I started in this role, I reached out to the 32 current staff members who have received a Vita Plena Award because I wanted to get their thoughts on kind of what the award meant to them and also to ask them for information on the characteristics that they feel are most important or were most important when they were honored. And so the themes that I discovered were inspiration, creativity, just selflessness, and the willingness to go above and beyond. And so as we looked to honor a staff member with the Vita Plena Award for quarter 2, Kevin Brown, who is our North Campus Associate Principal, was obviously a natural choice. So Kevin started at LT. Yeah, I won't embarrass you too much, Kevin. Kevin started it in July of 2009, has been the associate principal at North Campus throughout his career here. Prior to joining LT, he served as an assistant principal at York High School, and then also an assistant principal at Kankakee High School, where he also started his career as a math teacher at Kankakee High School. Kevin graduated from Olivet Nazarene University with a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Education degree, and no doubt has served and supported countless students and staff throughout his career, including right here at LT. It's also important to note that Kevin will be retiring at the end of this school year, and while we will certainly miss him, we also know that this is going to be well-deserved after a long career as an educator. So simply put, we're proud to have Kevin supporting our staff, our students, and our families here at North Campus and throughout the district. I think everything he does embodies what the Vita Plena Award is about, which is why we are honored to recognize him here tonight. Congratulations, Kevin.
Don't forget to introduce April.
It's a mistake to try and say thank you to the people that deserve it, so I at least want to acknowledge my wife, Mrs. April Roberts, and I'm so happy to
Definitely.
be here. I also want to note that Greg Gardner and Melinda Edwards took their time convincing someone. Thank you so much. And I know you're always here, but they didn't have to be here, and I love the gift that was given in Ms. Pavlik's memory, and I love that her former student. We are all just stewards in one of the most special places in the world. I hit the employment lottery in 2009. It's been a privilege, a real privilege to work for all of you with love and respect for our teachers as my North Star as they serve our incredible, amazing students. It's just been the job of a lifetime. This means the world to me. Dr. Tyrell, I'm more excited to come to work now than I've ever been. Much of that is your fault. I can vouch that taking a pie in the face this morning at 8 o'clock was one of the easier things. This is the first time she's actually sat down, I think, in 12 hours. And this means a great deal. I'm honored.
Thank you, Kevin.
I just wanted to add on behalf of the board too, Kevin, that we really appreciate all your service and that you just really add such a positive energy to the campus, and we just really appreciate that. Thank you.
Kevin, one quick thing. You are an inspiration to us, to the staff, and to the students, so thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to need to replicate his voice for the PA next year. That's what everyone remembers.
No, we have to, somebody's going to.
So I would just want to conclude my report by wishing all of our students the best of luck on final exams, which begin on Wednesday. And then at the end of the day, Friday, we will conclude, I think, what has been an outstanding first semester of the school year. And then our staff will return on Monday, January 9th, and our students will be back here on January 10th for the second semester. Until then, happy holidays to the LT community and specifically to our Board of Education members. I hope all of you enjoy a restful and relaxing break with your family, friends, and loved ones.
Thank you. Thanks for that. Yeah. Thanks, all the fun stuff. That was all it, packed all up in front. Yeah.
More fun
the rest of the stuff was trickling. Oh, Brian, we're so excited about it.
Excellent.
Oh, we've got more. It's Ryan.
Hey, yeah. Okay. Yeah, thanks, guys. If anybody else has to get to a jazz concert, by all means,
Right.
now's the time. Or go to the bathroom or whatever. So next up under unfinished business, as we move along, is the approval of the 2022 tax year tax levy. Mr. Stashak.
Thank you, President Dillon. And I promise this will be the last time we're going to talk about this until October of 2023, which will be the 23 levy at that point. Again, nothing has changed since we have put these specific numbers together. We have gone over this sort of ad nauseum with the numbers, and we obviously spent a great deal of time in the last several meetings regarding this information. And so at this particular point, unless there are any additional questions, like I said, nothing has changed from the time that I put these numbers together through the committee meeting last 2 weeks ago and then tonight. So all of that has stayed the same. I'd be happy to answer any questions on that if there are any. Otherwise, I think we can move forward with approval of this 2022 levy tonight. And I'll be turning this information, assuming the board approves it, be turning this information into the county by the end of this week, as it is due to the county by the last Tuesday in December. So next Tuesday is the deadline to have it in, and we'll have it in before that.
Right then. Can we have a motion to approve the Lyons Township High School District 204 2022 tax year tax levy as presented?
So moved.
Second.
You can call the roll, please.
Member Gretsch? Yes. Member Kelly?
Yes.
Member Swinehart?
Yes.
Member Thomas?
Yes.
Member Robert?
Yes.
Member Dillon?
Yes. Thank you. So sticking with Mr. Stashak, our next item under unfinished business is the approval of the resolution authorizing a supplemental tax levy to pay the principal of and interest on outstanding limited bonds of the district.
Thank you, President Dillon. And again, nothing has changed on this supplemental levy either. There's actually no reason to change anything. Again, this is just the levy to increase the amount in the bond and interest fund. The reason that we have a separate resolution for this outside of the levy that was just passed is because the law changed in 2009. Prior to that, you could not increase your bond and interest levy. Whatever you had at the inception of the property tax caps is what you had forever at that point. However, now in 2009, the law changed. We're able to do that. We're able to increase by the same percentage as what we just increased the general levy by. However, it has to be done through separate resolution. And that's the resolution that you have before you tonight.
That's where we are. Okay. we have a motion to approve the Lyons Township High School District 204 resolution authorizing a supplemental tax levy to pay the principal of and interest on outstanding limited bonds of the districts, as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Marilyn, can you call the roll, please?
Member Kelly?
Yes.
Member Swinehart? Member Thomas?
Yes.
Member Robert?
Yes.
Member Dillon?
Yes.
Member Gretsch?
Yes. We can now move on to new business. And our first item under new business is the approval of the fiscal year 22 audited financial statements, of which we had a presentation back on December 5th, was when we were together? Yeah.
Thank you, President Dillon, and you are correct. We did have a presentation from our auditing firm, Eder Casella. Sheridan Jurgensen, partner with the firm, was here to present on these audited financial statements, and we're proud to say that there were no issues, no findings, nothing in their work that they were able to locate, and that's always what we want to hear. Those are great way to go out at the end of the fiscal year with that statement as such. So again, nothing's changed in any of the documents here. I think it's important, just before we approve that, to thank everybody again who's involved in this. Certainly Kathy Moran in my office is vital to this process, does an excellent job with obviously all of the accounting for the district and working with the auditors, and the business office itself, because they're pulling documentation from everything that we do all year long and checking it there. And again, Dr. Waterman's office, Mr. Eggerding's office, Mr. Piotrowski's office, everybody else that was involved in this, so thank you all very much. This is not just a reflection on the business office and our practices, but throughout the rest of the district as well. So I think it was an excellent report. We talked about the impact to the financial statements, the surplus, and really where that came from, that being related to our corporate personal property replacement taxes, and we'll see where those go in the future. I don't have a good handle on that right now, but again, we'll see where they go in the future. So that being said, I'd be happy to answer any final questions on this before the acceptance of those financial statements.
Brian, I know I commented 2 weeks ago during the meeting, but just wanted to say it again because it's worth saying. And you acknowledged your team, but congratulations to you and your whole team and everyone involved in the process. This is a heavy lift. It's something that has to be done every year. But hearing clean opinion and no internal control issues means you're doing a great job. So thank you for making it easy on all of us to digest and understand the materials. And again, starting with those two big green lights, it's great. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, the students are going through their finals. You just finished yours.
That's what I call it, my final exam every year. So,
Congrats.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Assistant, appreciate that too. Thank you, Brian. Can we have a motion then to approve the Lyons Township High School District 204 fiscal year 22 audited financial statements as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Member Swinehart?
Yes.
Member Thomas?
Yes.
Member Robert?
Yes.
Member Gretsch?
Yes.
Member Kelly?
Yes.
Member Dillon?
Yes. And our next item under new business is the approval of the fiscal year 23 property tax relief grant application submission. Mr. Stachak again.
Thank you, President Dillon, and again, talked about this at the committee meeting at length. This is an opportunity for the district to apply for a grant from the state of Illinois. And the grant essentially would, if we were to receive a grant, we would receive a $1.3 million grant from the state of Illinois for the next 2 years. We would have to abate almost $3 million of money from our property taxes, which again provides that relief to the taxpayers within the district. And so there would be a net loss, obviously, in those first 2 years, but ultimately we would then look at in year 3, potentially recovering some of that net loss, increasing the property tax levy again to its former, number, and then we could look at that going forward. But the key to this is that the state of Illinois, as long as they still have the funding, leaves that $1.3 million with us going forward. So you effectively increase your total revenue at $1.3 million moving forward. Again, that's assuming that the state of Illinois is able to continue funding it. And again, it's also worth noting that we are number 642 in line for a grant from the state of Illinois. They have $49.7 million to provide, and of those 641 districts ahead of us, there's $797 million of possible grants. So I think it's important that we apply for it, and I think it's good to, potentially have the ability to do that. However, I do think it's a long shot that it would happen. The district has applied for it since the inception of the grant, and I want to say that's maybe 4 years now, if I remember correctly, and we have not been awarded a grant. But I still think it's important that we apply for it. And we can talk about the ramifications in much more detail if we were awarded the grant.
Can we have a motion to approve the Lyons Township High School District 204 fiscal year 23 property tax relief grant application submission as presented tonight?
So moved.
Thanks, Julie. Can you call the roll, Marilyn, please?
Member Thomas?
Yes.
Member Albert?
Yes.
Member Gretsch?
Yes.
Member Kelly?
Yes.
Member Schweinhardt?
Yes.
Member Dillon?
Yes. And our next item is the approval of the Abbey Paving final change order. Brian, stay check again.
Thank you, President Dillon. And so this is a change order. Abbey Paving was the company that replaced the parking lot behind the Corral building this past summer. And so the initial contract was for $418,000 even, and that initial contract included a $50,000 allowance. There were multiple, and again, this is not uncommon in particular with the paving contract, because you will take soil samples, soil borings before you perform the project to kind of see what you're dealing with. The problem is once you actually remove the old parking lot, then you see a lot more. And so that's typical with these. We did use up the $50,000 allowance, and in addition to that, there was another $5,805.85 of cost above that $50,000 allowance. So upon approval, assuming the board approves that tonight, there would be, again, additional $5,805.85 added to the final contract for a final contract amount of $423,805.85. And I would like to say that's actually really pretty good in terms of a paving contract, because you can oftentimes see, once you remove that old parking lot, there are all kinds of issues that you can run into. And I think based on here, I think the architects did a good job of estimating where we thought we were going to be, and that's where we are. It's always nice to get money back on a contract, and a lot of times we do, and in this one we don't. We're even a little bit higher, but again, not unexpected with a paving contract. Any questions on that at all?
Brian, how long, if you don't mind, if you can remind me, how long do we usually expect like a paving project like that to last? I mean, I know they can vary. Obviously, weather conditions have a lot to do with it, but...
Yeah, that's exactly right. Most of our paving contracts are designed, and projects are designed to be completed in a summer. So it would typically be, we would start as soon as school's out, in the beginning of June, let's call it, and then the goal is to have them done by the end of July.
I meant like how long before we have to redo it again?
I apologize. Yeah. Useful life, I want to say, is usually about 20 years
Oh, is it? Okay.
on a parking lot. And again, that can vary depending on how harsh the winters are. And that's due snow and cold, right? Because the more plowing, the more salt, the temperature variations, all of that can play a factor. But it's not uncommon for 15 to 20 years. And as you go throughout time, you will develop areas that are a little more compromised, so you repair those as you go. But I think 15 to 20 years is a reasonable time frame for that.
Alrighty then. Can we have a motion to approve the Abbey Paving final change order?
Second.
Thanks, Julie. And Marilyn, can you call the roll, please?
Member Albert?
Yes.
Member Gretsch?
Yes.
Member Kelly?
Yes.
Member Schweinhardt?
Yes.
Member Thomas?
Yes.
Member Dillon?
Yes. Thank you. Our final item under new business is the adoption of the resolution authorizing the sale by sealed bid of plus or minus 70 acres of real property located at 7900 South Willow Springs Road, Willow Springs, Illinois, including the terms and conditions of sale. On November 30th, the board released a statement about the potential sale of the Willow Springs property. We also established a webpage to collect comments and feedback from the community. On December 5th, at the Committee of the Whole meeting, we reviewed information about the findings from the Casarda enrollment study, which provided 3 enrollment scenarios. Dr. Casarda's report ultimately concluded for the next 15 years that LT's total projected enrollment on the low-end Series A would fall between 3,418 to 3,824 students. If things proceed as expected in Series B, the total projected enrollment would fall in the range of 3,736 to 3,905 students. And for the higher end, Series C, the total projected enrollment would fall in the range of 3,936 to 4,315 students. These figures are consistent with the same fluctuations that LT has experienced for the last 50 years. Over the last 2 weeks, we've received about 20 comments on the website form, and in an effort to streamline those consistent themes, we created an FAQ section on the webpage that addresses these topics. This was posted on December 9th. Last week, the board received terms and conditions from the council for review. The terms are standard practice and include the minimum purchase price to be set at $55 million. If the board agrees with these terms and conditions, I will ask for a vote adopting the resolution of the sale of the Willow Springs property tonight. Approval of the resolution requires an affirmative vote of 2/3 of the members of the board. Note that the board has included contingencies that allow the purchaser to investigate the suitability of the site for its planned development, and that any potential zoning changes and final approval of the development plans would need to be done through the Village of Willow Springs. How the property is ultimately developed is up to the contract purchaser and the Village of Willow Springs. The Board of Ed will not be involved in that process, as it is solely within the jurisdiction of the village to approve any changes to the current zoning and any special use permits or variances to current zoning. It is also the village's role to issue building permits for future development. Upon approval, the next steps would be for the board to publish notice of the sale for 3 consecutive weeks in a newspaper of general circulation, as well as online. Following the publication period, the board will collect the bids via a sealed bid process, which is one of the legally permissible methods for an Illinois school district to sell property. From there, we will conduct a bid opening in January, and the board will consider approving a winning bid at the January regular action meeting. With regard to the bid opening process, Michael Thomas, Facilities Committee Chair, has agreed to participate on January 11th. The potential this sale could have for our students is tremendous. Proceeds from this transaction could greatly enhance and improve the learning spaces at both our aging campuses. As outlined in our district strategic plan, LT has a goal to allocate the resources necessary to maximize success for all our students. And tonight, we are taking steps toward achieving that goal. The webpage, ltwillowspringsproperty.org, will remain active throughout this process, and we look forward to sharing updates with the community along the way. Do we have any comments or questions from anyone else on the board?
I'm pleased to see a lot of, have received a lot of community support and some questions along the way, but overwhelming community support for this. I think it's just a tremendous opportunity. And I think, Brian, I'm very appreciative of the process that you're taking and the thoroughness of which you will engage all of our stakeholder groups. It's a tremendous opportunity, but also a tremendous responsibility to ensure that we are, the improvements that we are making are for the betterment for our broad student population, those kids that are here today and those that will walk into the future. So I'm really excited to embark on this endeavor and study and look forward to determining where those monies are best allocated.
I would just agree with everything Don just said, that the opportunity, that this could have such a generational impact, that isn't something that comes around. I mean, this is just the first step in that exploration, so probably lots more questions as everything unfolds, but just I really appreciate the thoroughness, the website, and the community engagement too. It's really helpful.
That's a great point, that this is just step one that we're talking about tonight, right? That this is going to take some time, and at many points along the journey, some new information could come up or something could change, and we'll have to evaluate at that time what that information tells us. But yeah, I think I commented a couple weeks ago when we met, but I'm kind of a logical thinker, and I'm assessing, we have this land. It was acquired back at a time when student populations were rising at, I didn't calculate the slope, but a very sharp trajectory. So it made a lot of sense as to why that might be an idea back then that hasn't proven out to be needed over the years or in the projections. Then I always ask myself, is there likely a market, right? If there's no market, and I think there hasn't been an attractive market from what I gathered in years past, but it seems like there could be indications that the timing is quite good. But to me, that's still not enough. So is there a viable use of proceeds? I think we've demonstrated that, and it's great to hear the LTCAC information tonight, and I know you've been surveying. So and then I kind of come back to, does it align with the strategy? These are all great things, but if it's not in alignment with what an entity's trying to do, then it ought not to be done. But to me, it makes logical sense, and I know I spoke to at least 4, I could probably make a case for all 5 of the pillars of the strategic plan that would really benefit and be supported by actions such as these. So that's kind of my logic there. And the community response has been interesting, not 100% supportive, right? We've heard many voices, and but I'm glad we're hearing, and I hope we continue to engage with folks throughout the process. I know we will.
Thank you. Yeah, I would agree. Personally, yeah, I've heard a lot of positive feedback on it, so I'm excited about the fact that we could put ourselves in a position to maybe be a little bit more nimble and able to achieve some more 21st century learning types of environments for our students. Really, we really need to be there. So appreciate that. Great, thank you. Anybody else? We're good? Okay, then is there a motion to approve the adoption of resolution authorizing the sale by sealed bid of plus or minus 70 acres of real property located at 7900 South Willow Springs Road, Willow Springs, Illinois, including the terms and conditions of sale?
So moved.
Second.
Great. Marilyn, can you please call the roll?
Excuse me.
Member Gretsch?
Yes.
Member Kelly?
Yes.
Member Swinehart?
Yes.
Member Thomas?
Yes.
Member O'Bear?
Yes.
Member Dillon?
Yes. Great, thank you, everyone. And now we have reached the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda tonight as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Marilyn, if you would please call the roll again.
Member Kelly?
Yes.
Member Swinehart?
Yes.
Member Thomas?
Yes.
Member O'Bear?
Yes.
Member Gretsch?
Yes.
Member Dillon?
Yes, thank you. At this time, we'll now begin the non-agenda related portion of our public comments. Marilyn, do we have any non-agenda tonight?
No.
Okay, that's wonderful, I guess. We're doing really great, guys, on time. Must be in the holiday spirit, I guess. All right, that concludes non-agenda related public comments. I think that kind of pretty much concludes our meeting tonight. But first, of course, we want to say thank you to everyone for coming. Thank you for working so hard this first semester and for getting us to where we are. And I really hope everyone has a wonderful, very healthy and happy holiday season with family and friends. And we'll see you guys all in 2023. Is there a motion to adjourn tonight?
So moved.
No one wants to leave.
You guys want to stay? Like, we can keep going. We can probably still catch the jazz concert. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.